What if I told you that just staying motivated will never take you to your goals? Let me see if I can explain this a little bit. You know what I'm talking about. January 1st comes and you are excited. You decided on going back to the gym and you're really pumped up because you've been thinking about it recently. And so what do? You sign up for the gym, you get your trainer to set you up with a routine, and you're at it full force for the first week and the second week and the third week. But what usually happens after the first week of January, when the gyms are all full of people, somewhere around March or April, you don't see all of those people that you saw in the beginning of the year. And why is that? Are you here that your favorite motivational speaker is coming to town? You know, the type like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, David Bayer. Now, don't get me wrong. I like to listen to all of these motivational speakers myself, but I don't depend upon them to move me forward. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, some of you might not want to hear this, but many of you use going to church every Sunday and being inspired by the word incorrectly as well. Let me see if I can explain this to you. Many people go to church every Sunday to listen to the minister or the preacher, to hear the word and to be inspired by the word. So they go to church on Sunday and pray, and then on Monday prey on each other with resentment and all of the other unsavory things that we as human beings can sometimes do. So even in going to church, it is not just being inspired by the word, but it is being committed and clear as to why you must practice the word in action of what you hear. It does no good to be excited and inspired by listening to the word and the message of your minister, and then let this excitement fade off a day or two later, and then you're back again to the same old patterns of being angry, unforgiving, resentful, jealous, and all of the other things that are not Christian-like, if you happen to be a Christian. And the idea is that commitment and consistent clarity as to why the things that you hear in church are worthy of carrying out by decision in practice on a daily basis. It's not good enough just to be inspired. It is absolutely necessary when the inspiration wears off to keep the clarity of commitment to practice the word of that which you hear in church on a daily basis. It is a decision to be forgiving. It is a decision to be patient. It is a decision to have faith, which will carry you forward without the temporary excitement that you get from going to church. It applies to this as well. You see, motivation is excitement, but excitement fades. Motivation is emotion, but emotion fades. What do you do after you leave out all pumped up and excited at that motivational seminar? A week or two later, when the excitement and the high of the motivational seminar fades, what do you do then? What do you depend upon? Well, the mistake is this, is that a lot of people go through the motivational speaker addiction cycle. What I'm talking about is they go to a particular motivational seminar, they get all excited and full of enthusiasm and ideas of what they're going to do. And then, as to be expected, this excitement subsides when you depend upon it staying on its own. And then, after a month or two, the person goes, well, let me check out to see when the next seminar will be, because I need another dose. So the person programs to go to the next motivational seminar with the next idea that's supposed to get them started. And then this becomes a cycle of going to a particular event to get excited, to get motivated, and then go to another the next time it comes around, or to another the next time it comes around. And the same thing can happen using YouTube incorrectly. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there are a lot of great YouTube motivational ideas that are given on a regular basis. I offer YouTube motivational ideas as well, but I don't want you to depend upon me to continue to move forward. I don't want you to use me as the reason for you doing or not doing, as you should not do with any motivational speaker, because motivation, I repeat, cannot be depended upon. It's temporary. It's a fire that burns quickly and then burns out. So, what is the alternative to motivation? Because I know I have met people. In fact, I have a particular friend in mind, who came from South America, Ecuador. He didn't speak any English. He was working for me when I had a balloon and party store in the United States way back in 1990. And he was about 20 years old at the time. And he came over here to the United States saying that his background was as a dental technician. He didn't speak any English at the time. And he said to me, he said, Charles, what I want to do is I want to set up a dental lab and offer prosthetics and dental replacement teeth to sell to the dentist. And in my ignorance at the time of not understanding what commitment and consistency really meant, he said, I really want to do this. And then I'm trying to save him some disappointment. And I'm saying, well, Winston, I don't know really if you can or should try to do this, because you don't speak any English, you don't have any connections, and it's really hard to do. So, me and all of my wisdom, me thinking that I had the answers, I lost contact with Winston for about 15 years, 17 years. And I meet with him unexpectedly in a mall when I was with my daughter having some lunch in the afternoon. And I recognize him and I greet him. He looks a little bit older, more mature. And then he tells me, he says, Charles, I set up my dental lab business and I've been doing very well. I live in Simi Valley, California. I purchased a house. I have my dental lab, which I've purchased, and it floored me because, in case you don't know, Simi Valley is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Southern California. So he invited me to his house. He invited me with my daughter. We stayed over at his house. His house has got to be worth $2 or $3 million. He took me over to his dental lab, which he paid out, which probably is another $200,000 or $300,000. And he did it through commitment, clarity, and consistency. And I asked him, I said, Winston, I'm totally amazed. And he learned English along the way, I might add. I said, Winston, how did you do it? Did you did you read a lot of motivational books? He says, no. Did you ever read Think and Grow Rich? He says, no. Did you ever go to any like Tony Robbins seminars? He says, who's that? And I said, did you do anything of, to keep you motivated and anything like that? He says, no, I didn't go to any seminars. I didn't read any books. I didn't do any of those things. And with my mouth open wide, looking like a dummy, I said, then what was your secret? And you know what he told me? Consistency. I knew what I wanted, and I just consistently moved forward. That is the secret. That is the secret that I want to offer right now, is that commitment and clarity removes the need for constant motivation. And commitment and clarity involves reminding yourself why this is important to you. You see, motivation gets you started, and excitement gets you started. But when motivation fades, then you need to have the commitment and the clarity to move forward, knowing why this is important. As long as you keep the why in the forefront of your mind and you become committed to move forward even when you don't feel excited, is the secret to arriving at your success. You see, you don't ask yourself, how can I stay motivated? But rather, what am I exactly committed to? And then asking yourself this question, what am I exactly committed to? And then taking the decision, and remember, success is a decision, not an excitement. Success is a decision. It is not something that results from an emotion. And then you move forward decisively, one day, then another day, and another day. Commitment is a steady burn. Motivation and excitement is a quick burn. Commitment is your decision to consistently moving forward in spite of any circumstance to the contrary. When hesitation and doubt rears its head and you don't feel like doing what you know that you should do, you ask yourself, do I understand what matters most? And when you understand and remind yourself what matters most, you at that point then take the decision to move forward, which has absolutely nothing to do with the rah-rah and the emotional excitement that you think that you need to feel to remain consistent and to be successful. Clarity and consistency and commitment outweigh motivation every time. When motivation fades, clarity and commitment remains, and it is that which consistently will move you forward. That is what will consistently move you forward. Your clarity of what is important, reminding yourself why, and renewing your commitment each day to move forward. Even when you don't feel like doing it, even when there are many reasons for you to say, well, not today, maybe tomorrow. This is the difference between success and not achieving your goal. So in summary, the message is this: always remind yourself why you're doing that which you're doing, why this is so important. And ask yourself, what am I exactly committed to? And then you will see, when motivation fades, clarity and commitment remains, and it is that which will consistently move you forward. This is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach, wishing you as always to remain consistent and to be successful.